Hi, I'm Blair and I'm a Master Support player who loves playing enchanters in League of Legends. In this video, I'll be teaching you how to properly counter Milio and provide you with possible picks to go up against him. To start off, you have to remember that Milio scales really well, meaning you want to get as much advantage as you can early game or during your laning phase. To do this, usually you can go for pokers, hookers, engagers, or pick any support that can actually go all in or to try to always get the kill. If you can do this early game, then Milio will have a harder time to scale. Before I tell you which champions do I think counter Milio, it's very important to know how to exactly counter him first. Here are my top 5 tips on how to counter Milio. Number 1. Be careful of his normal attacks. Good Milio players, especially if they have Airy on, would probably be using their normal attacks plus their passive a lot to try to poke early game. When playing as a melee champion, which I'm pretty sure you probably would, versus Milio, you need to be careful of your positioning and not take unnecessary damage. If you are in no position to play aggressively, don't play too forward. And lastly, use bushes to your advantage and buy lens to remove wards, cause Milio would want to get vision inside the bush. Number 2. Play around his Q. Milio's only defensive skill early game is his Q. This is also his only poke skill. Try to go all in to get the kill if you see that the enemy Milio misses their Q. Think of it like Morgana missing her Q. He won't have a skill to counter engage if he misses this. Remember that Milio's Q has a fixed 12-second cooldown. Abuse this as much as you can during laning phase. Number 3. Fight in open areas. If possible, try to avoid fighting in tight areas like the jungle or around objectives like DR and the BR pit. These areas will usually force both teams to be grouped up, and Milio excels whenever his allies are together. Milio's W is AoE healing plus AoE additional attack range. If Milio uses his ult and hits his entire team, it will decrease your chances of winning the fight by a big margin, because their entire team will not only get healed, but also get increased tenacity, so good luck. Number 4. Focus target Milio. Much like any other enchanter, Milio can provide a lot of utility to his team but can't really do a lot if he's alone. If the opponent team is grouped up, try to aim for Milio first. Assassinate him if you can. The goal is to chain your CC skills to kill Milio. Remember that if Milio gets CC'd, he won't be able to use his ult, which would most likely result to your win. 5th. You'll almost always win the fight with your level 2 power spike. If you're playing an all-in champion like Blitzcrank, Alistar, Leona, Thresh, your early game power spike is level 2. Make sure to play aggressively and try to get level 2 first before your opponents. Milio has a really weak level 2, meaning if you engage a fight, you'll most likely going to win. So try to get that dub. With all of those things considered, now here's the list of champions that I've personally tried and I can verify that they counter Milio one way or another. We have the hookers or engagers, we have the pokers, and we have the scalers. For the hookers or engagers, this is probably the biggest counter for Milio. We have Blitzcrank to hook Milio to kill him and get early game lead in bot lane. We have Thresh, which has amazing CC chain, especially with the Thresh buff right now. Pyke with strong burst potential, he can also dive into the backline and easily stun and kill Milio. Next, we have Amumu, which has a strong CC chain, and using his bondage together with his ult can easily ult Milio to try to kill him. And lastly, we have Nautilus, which has a really strong CC chain and all-in potential, especially early game. Next, we have the pokers. First, we have Senna, which has consistent poke plus sustain plus infinite scaling, as you guys know. Next, we have Lux, which is a really great poker from afar with high burst potential with her ult as well towards the late game. And lastly, we have Xerath, which has really annoying poke that can easily outrange any team comp in the bot lane, especially in early game. For the last category, we have the scalers. So for the scalers, so far I've only tried one, and this is also my favorite pick against Milio, which is Sona. Sona, although not really a counter, but Sona, as you guys know, can easily just farm stacks against Milio early game. Towards the end, Sona is a monster in lane whenever she's already fully scaled. So make sure to go up against Sona as well if you're going for Milio and you're an enchanter main like me. And there you have it! That's how you can potentially counter Milio and have a strong chance of winning your lane. Even with everything that I explained, at the end of the day, what's more important is to make sure to play for fun and play who you want to play. Picking a champion that you know how to play well versus a quote-unquote counter that you don't know how to play is still always going to be the better counter pick. If you like this video and you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. And how about you? How do you counter Milio? Leave your comments down below. Don't ever feel like you're wasting your time for resting, because you're not. Don't be the next clown to go down. And as always, remember to always choose kindness. Bye, and see you on the next one.